Greetings, everyone. My name is Dennis South. I was a friend of Karen's for almost 50 years. I'd like to welcome everyone to this musical trip that Karen likes. Karen left us far too early in August of this year. And on behalf of her two sons, Micah and Brian, and her brother, David Knudsen, I want to thank you for coming. Although Karen lived in Paulsboro, her heart was on Bainbridge Island, and her impact on the arts in this community was profound. Her work establishing BPA, her involvement with the Bainbridge Chorale, and her formation of the singing group Side by Side illustrates her formidable force. The performers you will enjoy today is evidence of the high regard they hold for her. Now, ladies and gentlemen, past and present members of the Bainbridge Chorale.
Oh Hi, I'm Larry Kerr, and I sang for Karen, both in the chorale and in, how about that, side by side. I'm without guidance without her around. You know, I was 63 years old when I learned that I needed a big sister. Karen taught me. And my teacher, big sister, was an extraordinary woman, sometimes fierce, always focused, a caring woman, and often delightfully cranky. Go to the fierce part. We on the board of Chorale at one point wanted to pay Karen. She was working about 60 hours a week as the manager of the chorale. It was day and night, and she expected everybody else, if she called, to be working day and night as well. But we decided that it just wasn't fair for someone to put in that kind of work and not be at least noted. You know, Ruskin said that your salary shows how much society thinks of your work, and we thought of her work as being tremendously valued. She not only tore up the check in front of the whole board, she told me later that if this came up again, that I was going to pay for it. So there was this ferociousness, also focus. One time a person who was no longer associated with the chorale, but to use the kids' word, disrespected her in a rather spectacular way. And afterwards, we sort of sorted that out, but I went to talk to her, and she says, I'm not important. This show is important. The music is important. That's the kind of focus she brought to her life and her work. I think, however, in recent weeks when I've thought about Karen and what she gave to us all, I think about her last months as the manager of Chorale and her last months as the archivist for Bainbridge Performing Arts. It was all about getting the files in order. All the old shows, all the old cast lists, all the old tickets, all of this history. When I asked her why she was putting in this kind of effort, she said it's important to remember. Well, here's another moment. She's important to remember. Well, I was asked to speak for a minute. I speak sometimes professionally, sometimes an hour or two without any notes and not worrying about it. But you know, when it's someone you really love, a minute's a long time. Thank you.
Sweet
husband Jerry to Washington, D.C., where she worked for Opera America, whose goal was to introduce opera into the public schools. This was made to order for Karen, and she threw herself into this work as only Karen could. She did this for about 3 years until she was struck with a stroke, leaving her partially paralyzed on one side. After returning to the Northwest and going through a year of physical and emotional therapy, she was ready to start something again. That creation was Side by Side, a singing group that she fostered for 18 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Side by Side.
Little girls, everywhere I turn, I can see them. Little girls, night and day, I eat, breathe, and sleep them. I'm an ordinary woman with feelings. I'd like to see them hurl in my ears, but I'll admit, no man can sit if I'm the mother of the year. Little cheeks, little teeth, everything around me is little. If I twist little necks, surely I will get an acquittal. Yeah. Oh, some women are dripping with diamonds. Some women are dripping with pearls. Lucky me, look what I am dripping with. Little girls. How I hate little shoes, little socks, and each little bloomer. I'd have cracked years ago if it weren't for my sense of humor. Someday I'll land in the nut house with all the nuts and the squirrels. There I'll stay tucked away till the prohibition of little girls.
As Karen was winding down her involvement with Side by Side, she became more dependent on Chris Colbecker, and they passed the baton back and forth several times. Chris, a superb musician, has conducted this group we see today. Chris? So Side by Side was formed about 18 years ago. 18 years ago I wasn't on the island. I've been here about 10 years, which makes me what everyone calls a newcomer. So I joined Bainbridge Chorale and noticed this impish little woman that was at every rehearsal, involved in everything that was going on, but just kind of quietly sitting in the sidelines. She came over, she invited me to sing with this group of hers, Side by Side. I thought this was perhaps a remedial singing group, people that needed more work to get ready for chorale. It turns out that wasn't the case. This was a group of Karen's friends, theater-minded people that got together and sang jazz songs and show tunes and just had a great time. The name for the group, Side by Side, is from the Stephen Sondheim musical company. Those of you who know Karen know Sondheim was a huge influence on everything she did, and many of her favorite songs were Sondheim songs. So many people were interested in joining Side by Side because it was just so much damn fun, that there was a joke that someone had to die before a spot came into the group. The core of performers has remained largely unchanged through the year. More than half of the original members are still with the group 18 years later. They've sung in about every venue on the island, from a canvas company on Day Road to Grace Church to the Senior Center to here at BPA. When Karen's health started to become an issue, she convinced me I should take on the task of keeping Side by Side going, which I accepted, thankfully. She was always on the sidelines, watching what we were doing, encouraging us, telling us when we screwed up, and then continuing to exert her awesome and brilliant influence on everything we did. The reason these folks have stayed together for so long, for 18 years, the same core group, is love. Love of music and love of Karen. The biggest compliment she could ever pay was, she said, you know, that was the sound. It was the side-by-side sound. It's been a lot of fun, will continue to be a lot of fun, and we'd like to present for one last time the side-by-side sound.
There were angels slay a dragon and the old queen. Easy. What's hard is simple. What's natural comes home. Maybe you can show me how to let go. Lower my guard, learn to be free. Maybe if you whistle, whistle for me. Easy. What's hard is simple. What's natural comes hard. Maybe if you show me how to let go, lower my guard, learn to be free. Maybe if you whistle, whistle for me. Whistle for me.
Karen always showed great respect for the individual artists, and one in particular is very close to her heart. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Jeannie Grassi.
I'm just a Broadway baby, walking off my tired feet, pounding 42nd Street to be in a show. Oh, Broadway baby, learning how to sing and dance, waiting for that one big chance to be in a show. Oh, gee, I'd like to be on some marquee, all twinkling lights, a spark to pierce the dark from Battery Park to Washington Heights. Someday, maybe, all my dreams will be repaid. Hell, I'd even play the maid to be in a show. Hey, Mr. Producer, I'm talking to you, sir. I don't need a lot, only what I got, plus a tuber, grease paint, and a follow spot. I'm just a Broadway baby, working at the 5 and 10, dreaming of that big day when I'll be in a show. Oh, Broadway baby, making rounds all afternoon, eating at a greasy spoon to save on my dough. Oh, at my tiny flat, there's just my cat, a bed and a chair. Still, I'll stick it stick it long enough, I may get to strut my stuff, working for a nice man like a Ziegfeld or a Weissman in a great, big, Broadway show.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Ginny Lynn Hawkins, Bud Parker, and Neil Conity with a special number.
I met Karen in 1970. We did a show together right here. Well, this building didn't exist actually, but I then joined Side by Side, so I had a chance to reconnect with her a few years ago. And the last thing that she said she wanted to do was a show with Side by Side of 40s tunes. And one of the things that she talked about was a special moment she had when she played a duet with Bud Parker, fabulous trombone player. And so I went through the list of tunes that she suggested for Side by Side and picked my favorite to sing for you tonight with Neil Conity on bass. I'm wild again, beguiled again, a simpering, whimpering child again, bewitched, bothered and bewildered am I. I couldn't sleep and couldn't sleep till love came and told me I shouldn't sleep. Bewitched, bothered and bewildered am I. Lost my heart, so what of it? He is cold, I agree. He can laugh, and I love it. Oh, the laughs on me. I'll sing to him each spring to him, and long for the day when I'll cling to him. Bewitched, bothered and bewildered am I. each spring to him and long for the day when I'll cling to him. Bewitched, bothered and bewildered am
This lovely group of young ladies. Karen, Jenny Lynn describes it every time they played. Karen would be in the wings, smiling like a brand new mother, just so proud of them.
I know you belong to somebody new, but tonight you belong to me. Although we're apart, you're part of my heart, and tonight you belong to me. Way down by the stream, how sweet it would seem once more just to dream in the moonlight. My honey, I know, with the dawn that you will be gone, but tonight you belong to me. Way down by the stream, how very, very sweet it would seem once more just to dream in the moonlight. My honey, I know, with the dawn that you will be gone, but tonight you belong to me. Stars shine bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in a sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty-night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this. Sweet dreams of sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me.
I just wanted to say that Karen was one of my best friends. I've known her since '69 when we were in a show together. And we sang as a trio with Mary Pence. And then before that, she was a barbershop gal. And she played a wicked piano. If you have ever sung with Karen, you were so encouraged by her accompaniment. I just have to thank her sincerely for being such a good friend, a good musician, for teaching us so much, and it's just been a blessing to have her in my life and our lives. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Fredericks.
A lot of you people knew Karen a lot longer than I did, but I got to know Karen when I was the president of the chorale, and she was the manager, and we shared an office, which meant every day I got to start my day with sarcastic comments and grumbling. But we loved to talk to each other. We enjoyed each other's company, and sometimes I had to annoy her by playing stuff in my office really loud that she would have to listen to. And one of the things was Paul Robeson's song that she actually liked, and so we made a deal that if she passed before me, I'd sing this at her memorial service, and if I died before her, she'd sing it at mine, which worked out pretty well because I would have a really good singer at my memorial. And for her, she doesn't have to listen to me. So here it goes. Some still day, I'm just going home. It's not far, just close by, through an open door. Work all done, care laid by, gone to fear no more. Mother's there expecting me, Father's waiting too. Lots of folks gathered there, all the friends I knew. All the friends I knew. Nothing's lost, all's gain. No more fret nor pain. No more stumbling on the way. No more longing for the day. Want to roam no more. Morning star lights the way. Restless dream of dawn. Shadows gone, break the day. Real life's just begun. There's no break, ain't no end, just a living on. Wide awake with a smile, going on and on. Going home, I just going home. It's not far, just close by, through an open door. just go and hold. Go and hold.
Two events engendered in Karen the concept of Bainbridge Performing Arts. In 1980, our production of The Music Man filled the house nightly at the North Kitsap Performing Arts Center, and we ended the run with a very healthy nest egg in hand. Another first. This coupled with a midwinter production of Peter Pan, featuring a cast of 110 kids. With every performance, took me to my knees. With every performance a sellout, prompted her to conceive the idea of a multicultural umbrella organization for the island. It all began with The Music Man, in which she played the Widow Peru. Ladies and gentlemen, Rosella Kohlberger as the Widow Peru, and Adele Berg-Layton reprising her part of Marion the Librarian.
Yes, Mama. Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute. Hello, Mom.
I don't remember the library being open this late last 4th of July.
Oh, it was, Mama, all evening. Mama, there was a man with a suitcase following me all over town today.
Oh, who?
I never saw him before.
Did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Of course not, Mama. Amaryllis, on with your exercises, don't dawdle. Sol, do, la, re, ti, mi, a little slower, and please keep the fingers curved as nice and high as you possibly can.
Well, if you don't mind me saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
Oh, what?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Well, excuse me for living, but I never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of river city people and taking it all too much to heart.
But Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library was entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But darling, when a woman's got a husband and you've got none, why should she take advice from you? Even if you can quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all them other highfalutin Greeks.
Mama, if you don't mind my saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
No, I didn't change the subject. I was talking about the stranger.
Stranger.
With the suitcase who may be your very last chance.
Mama, if you think that I'd allow a common masher, now really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned, and I have no intention of...
I know all about your standards, and if you don't mind me saying so, there's not a man alive who could hope to measure up to that blend of Paul Bunyan, St. Patton, or Webster you've concocted for yourself, and your Irish imagination, your Irish stubbornness, and your labour even in boots.
Amaryllis, you may play your crosshand piece now. Good night, my someone. Good night, my love. Sleep tight, my someone. Sleep tight, my love. Our star is shining, its brightest light. For good night, my someone. Good night. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may,
Thank you. Where do I start with Karen? I met her when she came to, when she started getting involved in Bainbridge Performing Arts, which at that time was Bainbridge Light Opera. And I must say, I guess I'm a child of this theater company because my mother and her next door neighbor, Louise Mills, started the company back in the 1950s, and we're getting up close to the 60th anniversary of the company. And I made my stage debut at age 4 with my mother at the piano and many, many friends on the stage with me at that point. So anyway, Louise was, well, I guess I'm on a theme of mothers. So my own mother was an important figure, and Louise, being my godmother, continued. She always did the costumes for the shows. And I acquired a few other mother figures as I went through my performing career. And one was when I graduated from high school. I acquired a mother, and Dennis is kind of the fabric that brought these other mothers to my life. So in 1972, Dennis directed Amal and the Night Visitors, and I played the young boy, Amal, and Maxine Wright was my mother. And in this case, I became her son. And then about 10 years later, when I got back from Boston and getting my master's degree in vocal performance, I came and Dennis again cast me, this time as Marion Peru, and Karen was my mother. So she became my 4th mother. So thank you, Dennis, for introducing these important women to me. And Karen really became a mentor to me over the years. She would call me up and she would ask me to be on a committee. So we'd, be making decisions about what's the next show, who should direct it, and then as we went along, we each had a singing group. So she had she had Side by Side, and I had a group called Renaissance Jazz, and we worked together and collaborated on several concerts over the years, and we were on stage together. So. I think that in Music Man was probably the first big show that we were in together. And then a few years later, we were in HMS Pinafore, and she was Buttercup, and I was Josephine, and we collaborated on being music directors together for that show. And she would just have this way of calling and asking me to be involved in what she was doing. And I must say that Marion and Mrs. Peru were total typecasting. So I was the young music teacher just back, and I'm sure I had lots of advice to give to people. And Karen was the mother to be reckoned with, a force with a heart of gold. And I think one of the things that I will always remember about her is in the show that we were in a show before Marion. We were in Sound of Music, and she played the Mother Superior, and I was one of the Von Trapp family children. And I just remember every night her being backstage kind of cursing and moaning that she was going to have to sing this big song. And there was this glorious moment in the show where, as the Mother Superior, she would sing Climb Every Mountain. And every night, she just aced that song, and that glorious contralto, golden tone would ring out over the auditorium, and we would all be in the palm of her hands as she sang that high note at the end. And she just had this fabulous voice, and I will always remember that about her. And she had that knack of just coming through and singing things when you least expected it, and just holding us all in the palm of her hands as she did it so beautifully.
I now delight in introducing a gentleman who worked with Karen in such shows as Oliver, My Fair Lady, dear world, Oklahoma, one of my dearest friends, and an island treasure. I am one of the only people who will speak today without music, though I hope to show you that there's more than music to music. I will not sing a lilting lullaby, a firehouse, blow me down, jazzmatazz, razzmatazz, torch song, or choke a note until it surrenders. I speak today of a different kind of music, and it's a sort of music that infuses a life and a spirit. It begins in the womb, the place of birth, where the first music we hear is our mother's heartbeat. And ultimately, the way our own heart's music joins in that rhythm. Here's something that's true. Of the 101 major languages of the world, 92 of the poetry of those languages is in iambic pentameter. Bum bum, bum bum, bum bum. The beat of the heart. As in Shakespeare, when Romeo spies Juliet at night from his hiding place, the brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would, through the airy region, stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. It's the rhythm of CPR, how to bring someone back from the land of the dead to the land of the living. I speak from the heart about a woman whose heart was so large that, in Walt Whitman's phrase, it contained multitudes. And, like any heart, it was rived and harrowed, lifted and stunned, grew more complex, and once it found its own rhythm, became a song, a symphony. Sometimes by Mahler or Bartok, sometimes by Spike Jones, that we listened to and were lifted to a place where pathos, comedy, tragedy, misunderstanding, and passion contended and strived to find a voice. This is the Karen I know. I'm not using the past tense here. All memory becomes the present, even as it takes up residence in the storehouse of the heart. Let me speak in metaphor. Watch out. As I thought of Karen one night last week, troubled between sleep and waking in a dark silence, I heard coyotes down the hill from our house. They began with a single voice, a howl of invitation, a quavering, high, mournful sound, which at first irritated me. I heard other voices join in, a cantata choir of ragtag coyotes who sang the darkness, and it went on for some time. Then a pause, a silence to measure the notes by, concluded by a final voice that lifted and riffed what had been sung before, and then the notes she sang, skedaddled in the air, cavorted, contorted, in appassionato swirls, and finished with a long note that seemed both farewell and invitation. I imagined, as my mood lifted, that the other coyotes went silent,
because of amazement, appreciation of what can happen in this world, and smiled their dog-like smiles. I smile like Bowser as I speak of Karen. She was my vocal muse, my inspiration. You've got to breathe before you hit that passage, she'd say. Prepare with air. My reason why I got over my trauma from the 4th grade when I took a test to match pitch. And the music teacher told me with a dismissive smile, well, you'd best take shop instead of choir. I can see Karen's eyes at the beginning of rehearsals brim with a vision of where the music could take us, what heights we might reach, whether it was a little bit of luck and My Fair Lady, Consider Yourself from Oliver, I Don't Need Anything But You from Annie, or Garbage in Dear World. It's actually the name of the song. With Karen as the Mad Woman of Chaillot, which marked my debut as a singer, playing the Garbage Man, which includes these lines. Pâté d'ivoire grand, Thursday's gardenias, ribbons and orange rinds, a volume of Chaucer bound in Morocco, lilies and coffee grinds, the pit of a peach, the stem of a cherry, floating in pink champagne. Nice pause, huh? There was a time when garbage was a pleasure. You know, it's hard for me to hit that note. Could we have the orchestra kick? Okay. We didn't rehearse this, did we? Okay. And many times after we finished our first attempt at butchering the music, Karen would sit back and sigh, that Karen sigh, squint her eyes and say, let's work on this. She had a vision of excellence to sing a song and wring the meaning out of it like juice from a lemon. And when we came to opening night and bright lights, by God and by Karen, we sang until the rind was dry and the juice of her genius saturated the air. Karen was a singer of note and notes. She could travel the scales like an explorer who plumbs the Mindanao depths and climbs Mount Kilimanjaro. Most of all, she had a reservoir of feeling that allowed her to understand the character who sings the song. Whether she sang Send in the Clowns, a bawdy English tavern ditty, or, and to me this is one of her most estimable accomplishments, transforming Climb Every Mountain from The Sound of Music into a revelatory hymn rather than a cloying concoction of self-help bromide. She believed, and by extension we believed, because we could glimpse a dear world of honesty and pain, laughter and love. Sometimes it was Hurricane Karen, bringing high winds and torrential rain. Other times it was Karen the Sophisticate, the pearled matriarch of grace and kindness. She could laugh like a barroom floozy or cry like a woman who's so battered by the blows and time bombs of living a life, she must dissolve in tears or be unable to go on. And then she goes on singing a song, dancing a jig, and out of those tears we begin to smile at the spirit, the bravery of all souls who bear them in possibility, in the dream of melody and the joy that comes from lifting our hearts in song. I join them at this time, along with the coyotes I hear at night, the singers who sing today, and most of all, for Karen Rice, whose voice and spirit resounds with more than music in this place and the space of love that endures even in the dark, even when it's silent, save for the beating of our hearts. Bum bum, bum bum, bum bum.
Where are the ladies of Side by Side? Think back to rehearsal. There was no intro.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? Because I knew you. I have been changed for good. It will be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me, like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? Because I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blamed me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I
Karen Rice.
Bother with people I hate. That's why this lady is a trend. I don't shoot crap games with bears and earls. Walk on Seattle in urban upcoils. Can't dish the dirt with the rest of the girls. That's why this lady is a trend. I like to breathe fresh wind in my hair, life without care. I'm broke, it's dark, I hate California, it's dry and it's hot. That's why this lady is a tramp. Oh, don't you just love this room? You know, I walk by here all the time, look at the windows, and I look here, you know, after this many years, about all I have left is memories. And I remember going to my first dance in a room just like this. That was the most precious memory. I had a new dress. Well, it was new to me. And it was red and green and a lot of orange. And some purple, and it had polka dots, and it had some stripes, and then it had, well, it probably wasn't in fashion then either. But I loved it. And you know what? I just adored the young man that took me. Oh, he was so special. He was kind. He was generous, and before we went our separate ways, we had a really good time. And I liked everything about him. I liked the way he walked, the way he talked, the way he held his hat, the way he sipped his tea. The memory of all that. Oh, no, they can't take that away from me. The way he smiled, just beamed. The way he sang off key. The way he haunts my dreams. Oh, no, they can't take that away from me. If we never, never meet again on the bumpy road of life, I will always keep the memory of the way he held his knife, the way we danced until 3, the way he changed my life. Away from me. No, they can't take that away from me.